What up, what up? We back. It's your favorite podcast with your favorite people. It's the Freewenow podcast.
Till it is backwards.
Yes, sir, Ski. Okay, got some good stuff today for y'all, man. What you got for the people?
Hey, as always, follow me on Instagram at Chief_Gilmore. Follow me on Twitter at CallMeSweatMan. And don't let the love separate from your life. It is something that's going to make you grow. It is something that's going to make you appreciate. And it is going to something that is going to help you build, right? Love should be at the center.
Felt that one.
Needed that.
You know what's interesting though? Mind you, everything we do is one take, right?
One
like
take.
we're
Off
really
the
just
humbug.
off the humbug. We just freestyle, right? But what's interesting to me, right? Even when we have guests, since we don't practice, I'm always, bro. Even when I'm here with you, I'm always shocked. Sometimes I'm like, yo, that was a good point. You know what I'm saying? Like, dang, I didn't think they was gonna say that.
At
you know
all.
what I'm saying?
You never know.
Yeah. Okay. All right. Today we're gonna be talking about celebrating yourself.
Celebrate yourself.
You know what I'm saying? Celebrate yourself, right? Stop. You know what? That's the first thing we're gonna talk about, right? The next thing we're gonna talk about is outsourced validation. When do you feel validated? Is it from someone else? Is it yourself? Outsourced validation. Then we're gonna talk about God being at the center of everything.
Center of everything.
Everything. Put God at the center of your life. I'm guarantee you're gonna turn your life up. So cool. The first one, and I have trouble with this, bro.
Okay.
Celebrating yourself.
Ooh, yeah.
Like even if somebody was to ask me right now, what are your three strongest qualities? The first thing, you know what I'm saying? Like, but I've gotten better at that. So how should a person celebrate themselves, and how do they get to the point where they're doing it on a daily?
Okay, so let me tell y'all how I came up with this. Celebrate yourselves, right? I was on deployment recently, 7-month deployment. We pulled into Indonesia. I believe it's Indonesia. The first LPD class ship in naval history to pull in Indonesia. And I was a navigator of that ship.
Ooh, I ain't know that. Yes, sir, Ski. I ain't know that. Yes, sir, Ski.
And I was a navigator. And I'm talking
Yeah.
about we did planning after chart after track after track after track, right? We go through the whole process, we get in, everybody's clapping, they're like, yo, that was the first LPD in history and everything like that. They were like, how you feel? I said, I feel good. I was not excited.
Bro, in history?
In history, I was not excited.
Dang.
I had lost the ability to celebrate myself. Like, even when it comes to my birthday, sometimes everybody's like, yo, what you doing for your birthday, bro? I'm like, I ain't doing nothing.
Same.
Like, other people I know, they planning trips, they going out, they going turning up. It's like, I felt almost in a sense of embarrassed to celebrate myself, right? I felt like I didn't deserve to be celebrated. And it wasn't because I don't love myself. It wasn't because I don't see myself as a great person. You know what it was because? I looked at my life of not where I came from, but where I wasn't. So it was so hard to celebrate these momentary great things or these momentary successes because I'm like, I'm not where I want to be. This not where I see my life stopping, right? So why celebrate this? But you deserve that, yo. If you don't celebrate yourself, if you don't start giving yourself that pat on the back, if you don't start expressing it, no matter how it is, whether it's you want to throw a party with yourself, maybe it's you want to make an Instagram post, maybe it's you just want to have some friends over to talk about it. If you don't celebrate yourself, your life is going to become very dull. You're gonna miss you're gonna have the inability to not just celebrate yourself, to celebrate anybody else.
That's what I was gonna say.
Because it's gonna start flowing into everybody else's stuff. You're gonna start seeing everybody else's successes like, all right, it's cool. You did a thing, all right.
Right.
You want your flowers, bro? You want a cookie?
Right. Yeah, bro.
You need to celebrate yourself. I'm telling you right now, because what you are doing in life, if you are taking I'm talking about a baby step, your foot could inch forward just a little bit from where you were yesterday. Yeah. I'm not saying go crazy with a celebration. Yeah. But you're doing something that is progressing your life. Yeah. So you deserve to celebrate yourself.
A few points on what you said, right? So when we was lifting the other day, right? You were like, hey, like you did more reps this time. You know what I'm saying? Like you did more reps at the certain weight that we wanted to be at for more sets. And I was like, oh, he was like, nah, bro, that's progress. And I was like, you know what? Yeah, that was progress. Yeah. Right? But, and I think another thing you touched on, bro, is when you don't celebrate yourself, it's going to be hard for you to celebrate others. Number two, if you can't celebrate yourself, if you don't think yourself of enough importance to be celebrated, why would somebody else celebrate you? Yeah. You know what I'm saying? Like, I heard Myron Golden say it again. We got to have him on the show.
Golden.
Right? He was like, people don't see you through their eyes. they see you through your own eyes.
Through your own eyes.
So people see you the way you see yourself, and they treat you the way you treat yourself. So if you walk in the room and you quiet and you talk like that, they're gonna treat you like that. But if you walk in the room and you're commanding, you don't have to be yelling, but like, hey, you looking at everybody in the eye, hey, how you doing, blah, blah, blah. That's how you have a presence. You know what I'm saying? And people are gonna treat you as such, right? So I just looked at the definition of humble. Because the definition of humble, because I think a lot of times we misuse the word humble.
We use it as an excuse.
You know what I'm saying? So the definition of humble, let's just hear this. It says having or showing a modest or low estimate of one's own importance. Having or showing a modest or low estimate of one's own importance. Another definition is of low social, administrative, or political rank. Of low social, administrative, or political rank. Hearing this definition, I'm going to be super careful when I'm saying I'm just being humble.
Yeah.
Because you're basically showing a low importance of who you are.
Yeah.
That's not what I'm saying anymore.
That ain't the stuff right there.
That's not it.
It's not the secret juice.
It's not the Krabby Patty formula.
That is not it.
Like saying that you're a humble, you're dumbing down the person that God calls you to be. Like imagine David with his slingshot about to go try to slay Goliath and he's thinking he's of low importance. Like you can't accomplish anything in life. You think of anybody that was great in any category, they believed in themselves. Whether you're talking biblically, whether you're talking secular, the world, you're talking sports, entertainment, science, okay? You're talking educational, like whatever the category it is, bro. Or sis, you have to believe in yourself and stop saying the word humble. If you're gonna use it the correct way. Yeah. But don't stop using it to describe yourself and dumbing down your own inner greatness and using that as an excuse to call yourself humble. Yeah.
Because your accomplishments is a lot of work.
It's a lot of work.
It's a lot of work, whether it's small, big. It's a lot of work. Yo, I remember when I graduated college, right? My parents so happy. That's going crazy. How you feel about graduating college? It was cool.
Right.
But you don't realize that so many people in your same sense never got the opportunity to do that, right? They never got the opportunity.
It's illegal to read.
Exactly. There's people, don't get me wrong, there's plenty of people who graduated college, went on to get masters, do more, right? But there's so many others that didn't have that opportunity. So why when I get there do I look at it as something that is minuscule? It took me, when I graduated, 22 years of my life to get to that point. To walk across that stage, to hug my mother, to be around my friends, to be around my family, to have that diploma. Like, and I'm telling y'all right now, we in school all day.
Right.
Especially as a youngin'.
Right.
You running from class to class just to make it, right? And I got to the moment and I looked at it as minuscule. You have to, I'm gonna say it multiple times, you have to learn to celebrate yourself.
I think sometimes, bro, we don't celebrate ourselves, and myself included, because it's not cool.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, it's like you are almost afraid of people calling you cocky or a narcissist. That's another word that's been misused a lot now. Or, full of yourself, because how could you be full of yourself? How could you be cocky? How could you be arrogant? How could you be a narcissist for celebrating something that you put hard work in to accomplish?
Time.
So, like, time and effort, sweat equity. Like, I'm challenging myself, Keith. I'm challenging y'all as well. Start celebrating yourself and celebrating those small wins. Because when you celebrate those small wins, it's going to make the journey more appreciative. Now you're going to start appreciating the journey instead of the destination.
Oh, what was that quote you said before? You said, a person that loves to walk will go further than a person that is just trying to reach a destination.
Yeah. So the person that loves walking will walk further than a person that loves the destination. I'll say it again. The person that loves walking will walk further than the person that loves the destination. Right? How can you love walking? How can you fall in love with the journey? It's because you celebrate them small wins.
Small wins.
I only walk 5 minutes today. Cool. Tomorrow I walk 10. So now I'm getting the same distance in 5 minutes now. Now what took me 10 minutes, it only take me 6 now. You know what I'm saying? So like celebrating those small wins gives you momentum, bro. It gives you that intensity and that courage to keep going.
Yes. Because
sometimes the goalpost can seem so far away that you can't even fathom another day of going forward because you can't celebrate, like you said earlier, you looking at where you should be instead of where you came from. Like we have to stop comparing our position in lives to where, oh, I should be here, I should have this, I should have that, I should be doing what he's doing, I should be doing what she's doing. How did she get that? I should have that. When really you should be comparing yourself to where you came from. Heavy, bro.
Ooh, and hey, let me say that. I'm gonna even try to take should out of my vocabulary, you know, right?
Absolutely.
Because it either is
or it isn't. Say it one more time.
It either is or it isn't.
Yes, sir, skate.
And the only is where you came from. You prove that you are that person. You prove the work that you put in, right? So don't get caught up and distracted about where you should be. Talk about where you were, what you did. Come on, y'all. Come on, I know y'all better be hearing me, bro.
Can I get an amen?
Amen.
Can I get an amen?
Amen.
Yeah, sir, skate. Listen, like, yeah, man, celebrate yourself. And I think, how about this, bro? Because we are bad about this, our birthdays.
Oh, yeah.
I think that's the first step. I think us celebrating, also us even being consistent with the podcast, that's number one. Let's celebrate that because we've been super inconsistent in the past.
Very inconsistent.
So I think we should celebrate that, bro. And then we should also celebrate our birthdays. Yeah. I think we should actually plan something for our birthday. It ain't gotta be crazy, but like let's show that, hey, on this day we appreciate the gift of life and we appreciate where we came from. So we're gonna do something for our birthday.
And how many years we made it? Because a lot of people didn't make it this far.
They did not. They did not. Cool.
Talk to them.
So on that note of celebrating yourself, right? A lot of times we don't do that because our source of validation is off.
Ooh.
Like a lot of times we're not confident or we don't appreciate our growth because our validation is off. So let's talk about outsourced validation. Like what does that mean to you and where should we be getting validated?
Hey, outsourced validation will leave you starving. I'm gonna say it one more time. Outsourced validation will leave you starving.
Yeah.
The validation should come from within. The validation should come from your hard work.
Right.
The validation should come from your success. The
right.
validation should come from your celebrations of you. The validation should come from where you were to where you are now. That's the validation. That is the work that you put in. That is the time that you put in. And like you said, that is your sweat equity. Now, when you start looking outside and you start needing people to tell you that you're doing good, right? Don't get me wrong. It is nothing wrong with getting a pat on the back. It is nothing wrong with getting acknowledged by people. You want to be nice. You want a little acknowledgement, right? But when that is the primary source of your validation, as I said before, you'll be starving, right? If you post a picture on Instagram, right, and you're like, if I don't get 100 likes, I don't look good in this picture.
That's
or
dangerous.
I don't get 200 likes, I don't look good in this picture,
That's dangerous, people.
That keeps you consistently checking the app. Like, all right, let me read. Did I drop the picture at the wrong time? And I'm not looking good? Now you're looking at yourself like, well, what's this flaw? Why this person getting so many likes? Why I'm not getting that? Because you're so focused on what everybody else thinks about you except what you think about what you are, right? Because the most important thing is what you think about what you are. And when I'm talking about that, like, don't get me wrong, it's something that everybody does. Sometimes, like, I look in the mirror, right, and I talk about myself negatively at the flaws that I have, right? And I'm like, oh, this don't look good. This don't look good, right? And then somebody else will tell me outside, and it's like, oh, nah, you look good, bro. And I'm like, oh, yeah, I do look good, right? But why did I need that? Why did I need that to have that validation? And I started to realize that I don't, bro. Right. It don't matter what anybody thinks about me. The most important thing is what I think about me, right? Because my validation comes from inside.
No, that's heavy, bro. I think you touched on a few things, right? The immediate one, a funny thing, right? Like, you know, I was coming off of an ACL injury, right? You know what I'm saying? I had the little Gucci gut a little bit. You know what I'm saying?
Burr.
You feel me? And so, you know, I'm working on it, getting right? Fast forward, you know what I'm saying? You know, working out, you just kind of ebbs and flows, whatever, right? So now I'm like, okay, I got to get back on that, working out. And, bro, like, I'm like, man, I kind of got a gut a little bit, right? But then some other females, they're like, no, like, we like the gut. Like, it gives you, like, you know what I'm saying? It's like a dad, you know what I'm saying? It's a dad bod. But, like, I still, you know what I'm saying? I still had the arms, you know what I'm saying? But it was like, I had a little gut. But it was like, no, we like it. It makes you look, like, grown. So then I'm thinking in my head, I'm like, this whole time, like I'm working and doing ab workouts and I'm doing all of this, trying to lose it, just so somebody else can be like, oh, like you look good, right? When it's like, they liked you like that.
Yeah.
So it's like after that, it's a small example, super small example. But I'm like, yo, just whatever, bro, just be you.
Be true to you.
You know what I'm saying? Just rock with what you got, you know what I'm saying? Improve it, but don't let nobody else tell you what you should and you should not be.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? And so another point, bro, is that like you said about social media. Social media is so dangerous because any content that you post, the content now is outsourced validation.
Yeah.
Like everything that you post is outsourced, right? And so you're waiting for somebody else to like it, waiting on somebody else to share it. Like if you got a business, you wonder why your friends not sharing your business, why they not commenting on your posts, why aren't they putting it on your story? You do music, why haven't they like go and stream your music, right? Why haven't they come up to your pop-up shop, right? Like why aren't they buying products from you, right? Why aren't they liking it and showing every? Listen, don't worry about it. And validate yourself from the inside out, right?
Mm-hmm.
Like validate who you are from within, right? And we talked about on the previous podcast, but that validation, when you start having your mind be ran by God, therefore your mind is ran by God. Now your mind is going to tell your willpower and your emotions what to be validated by.
Mm-hmm.
Now you're going to be validated by the thoughts that God puts in you and not the thoughts of man and flesh and your emotions, right? Like you said, that's a rabbit wheel. That's a hamster wheel. You're just gonna be chasing that all day. It's almost like a high.
Yeah, it is. It's like
that dopamine.
Ooh,
you know what I'm saying?
I got 200 likes. I got 3, and I got
Right.
a million likes. Yo,
Right.
I'm great.
Right.
But you could get 10 likes, bro, and you're
Right.
still great.
Bro, I have met.
You're still great.
We have been in LA, right? And we would meet people, super socially awkward, right? Hard to have a conversation with, right? And then, but they got millions, I'm not gonna say millions, 100,000 followers, right? We've also been in a situation where we'll be like, oh man, like they super cool, like they chilling, blah, blah, blah. And they got a bunch of followers, right? Or they don't have a bunch of followers. I say that to say, you can't judge a person and you shouldn't judge yourself based off of a virtual reality.
Yo, we have allowed a fake place to become real in our minds.
It's not real.
Bro, it is the fakest thing on earth, bro. Like, you can edit your pictures. You can take a picture in front of somebody's car and nobody would ever know it's not your car.
A plane.
You can get an Airbnb and take a picture on the couch like it's your crib.
Right.
Like, it is a fake place. It is a completely made up thing that we've allowed to take control of our emotions and become real.
Facts.
Bro, come on now.
And a lot of that outsourced validation, after a while, it causes you to crash out.
It does.
You know what I'm saying? Like it causes you. It's like a 5-hour energy, or an energy drink.
Too much sugar.
Too much sugar. Where it's like you feeling the dopamine, you feeling great. Outsourced validation here, outsourced validation there. Like here, like there. Everybody's loving me, loving me, loving me. Then it stops, and then you hit a low, and it's like, what happened?
It's like crack, bro.
It is. It's a drug.
It's a drug.
It's a drug, bro.
You waiting for your next high.
You waiting for your next high. You waiting for your next viral moment. You waiting for that next picture for everybody to be in your DMs. You waiting for everybody to start like that's a drug, bro. You got to be careful from that because that's a slippery slope, bro. You don't want to fall into that, bro. Like he said, bro. Find it within you. Find it from the inside, right? And so on that note, bro, of finding it from the inside, right? Like what we've realized as we kind of keep doing these podcasts, as we really try to lock in on our financial wealth, our physical health, our mental health, and our spiritual health, and just like social relationships that we have, we realize when you put God at the center of that, you can't lose.
You cannot lose.
Like, without him, you're lost. Like, and in him, everything is found. So, like, the more truth, like, it's like this, right? To understand a person, you have to have a relationship with them, right?
Facts.
So, for Keith to say something, right? And we to, like, kind of, like, tag team this podcast, right? I know him so well, I know when he's about to stop talking. He knows when I'm about to stop talking. He knows when if I'm feeling something, I'm a rant, he gonna amp me up, and like vice versa, right?
Facts.
So what I'm getting at is the more you understand God, the better relationship you have with God, the more you'll understand Him.
Yeah.
And the more you understand Him, the clearer His guidance will be to you. And when the clear guidance comes to you, the easier your life is gonna be.
Ooh.
You know what I'm
Turn your
saying?
life up.
Like the easier, like life is not meant to be everywhere you turn is something hard. I get it, life is hard, but I think sometimes we make it harder than what it has to be because we don't listen.
At all.
You know what I mean? So like, give. I guess your coming of age, bro, of putting God at the center of your life and how it is basically turned your life up.
Yo, it honestly, it came in this studio.
It came in the studio,
and actually,
it's magic.
We did some recordings, a little interview, right? We went outside, and I could feel the excitement building in me, bro. Like it was like overwhelming to where I was like, I gotta share this. Like I gotta say something about it, right? We stepped right outside. We got in the car, man, and it was like, I think God just told me what I'm supposed to do in my life. Like He just showed me what my path is, right? And I'm like, I'm 28 years old, and I'm finally just now seeing it. Like I'm finally just now realizing that though at this moment He just showed me what I was doing, He had been guiding me my whole life, and I hadn't even been giving Him the time. I wasn't praying. I wasn't thanking Him. The only time I would hit God up is when I needed something.
When you needed something.
When I was like, I got this brief I gotta do, or I gotta pass this test, or I'm a little tight on money. Like I was only coming to Him when I felt like there was nothing else I could do, right? And I was realizing that even with me doing that, He was still putting things in my life and putting me in this place that I didn't even think I was supposed to be. Like I'm like, why am I getting a promotion? Why am I, like you said, why am I going through this? Why are these great things happening to me, right? And it took me stepping outside and on some real stuff, like breaking down at the thought and the will and the love that God has been showing me, right? And since then, like, it's like the urge for me to want to know more.
Right.
Like,
we now have a thirst for like, I need more. I need more.
What's next?
What's next?
Like, you know what I'm saying? Like it's like I'm putting in this work in this thing because I realized my whole time, like, this is what I'm supposed to be doing, because God puts something in you, who you're supposed to be from the beginning of your life. And the rest of your life, you are just making the journey to get to that point, right? You are making the journey to get to that point. And He has promised you that whatever your imagination is, if you believe in Him, will come true.
Ooh, talk about that. Okay, quick plug, right? Quick plug. So every day we do a Bible study, right?
Yeah.
And so we do a chapter a day, right? Started just from the beginning, right? From Genesis 1:1, right? As we're reading this, right, we're getting so many revelations, right? But we're not reading it on some like religious church stuff. Like it's honestly like we just reading a book and we just studying it.
Yeah.
So we're looking at all the people, like real people. The problems that they have are real problems, right? It's not something like that's like mystical or like magical, like olden days. That like no, like we looking at it like real deal Holyfield. So quick plug for that. We're gonna come out with that where we talking about the Bible, right? And from a real perspective, and we giving our 2 pennies on what we think and what we reading, right? So to that note, you made me think of that when you said that verse, because like, what was the verse again?
I can't remember the exact verse, like the exact word for word verse, but it was, God did say, I promise you, whatever your imagination is, you will be gifted. Like it will come.
Oh yeah. So So basically, it was Adam, it was Terah, his father, right? Adam and Nahor, his brother, and his niece. What's her name? Michaela or something like that. Anyway, right? Long story short, basically, God is telling them to go to a different place, like get all the family and y'all gotta go somewhere else, right? And so later on in the verse, it's talking about how God tells them to build a city. They're like, cool. So they started building the city, right? And they say, you know what? We're gonna build these towers in the city to where it can reach the heavens. Time out. I said reach the heavens, not like reach the clouds.
It's a tall building. Not
we're gonna build a building to maybe even try to get to, I don't know, the stars, to heaven. Like, do you know how like
Yeah, that's up there.
To even think that you have the capability and that God has given you the power to really build a building to heaven is crazy work, right? So we reading it, we like, yo, like that
was tough.
That's crazy, right? But in the next verse, it says, basically paraphrasing it, it says, because you guys have imagined to do this, nothing will be restrained from you.
Yeah, that's what nothing will be restrained from you.
Nothing will be restrained from you. So it's like basically God didn't look at them like, oh, y'all stupid, y'all crazy, y'all can't get to heaven. Why would you ever think you could build a building to heaven? He was like, for y'all to think that I have given y'all the power and y'all believe in me so much that y'all can build a building to reach me, I'm gonna bless y'all. Nothing will ever be restrained from y'all because the power of y'all imagination is so strong because y'all have such great faith in me. Nothing will be restrained from y'all.
If you can imagine it, when you believe in God, you can do it. Because I'm gonna tell you right now, just let's stay in this little realm right now because I'm loving what we talking about, yo. Just to start it off in Genesis 1, bro. God's gonna tell you to do something, like He told the earth to do something. You do it, it will be good.
Right.
It will be good.
So okay, go ahead.
So God's been telling us to do something for a long time.
Facts.
For a long time.
Facts.
And we've been putting it off. And it just seems like we just started getting into, we started doing it. And I don't care how many people watch this.
I don't care either.
Like it. I know it's good. I can feel it's good. I understand it's good, right?
Yeah.
Because we done had people that told us they done watched a couple episodes and was like, yo, I kind of needed that.
Changed my life.
You know what I'm saying? I needed that improvement. I needed to hear that, bro. Right. And I'm talking about all it took was one person, bro.
Right. That's all it took.
It's going to be good, bro, because God is at the center of what we are doing.
Facts.
Come on now.
And so he just stopped playing. I wish I had a bomb. I'd drop a boom. Boom. Quarantine. Hey, but look, no, but what he's talking about, right, is so yesterday our homie asked us, he says, what did he say? He was like, how do you know what you're supposed to do if you have so many options, right? And so basically we were like, the same pattern that God used in Genesis is the same pattern you should live with your life, right? So that's what he was talking about. God's going to tell you to do something, right? You have to take action on it. You can't just say, okay, I believe it. No, you have to show your faith through your actions. You do it, and then that's when it's going to become good. Mm-hmm. So it's not until they started building the building till that's when he said, nothing will be restrained from you, mm-hmm. right? It's not them saying, I think about doing this great idea. I think we can make it go up to the heavens. I think. I hope. I sit. I do nothing. Mm-hmm. Right? Like, it wasn't until they actually started building it that he was like, okay, y'all different.
God's going to show you in the moment of the action that you're doing.
Facts.
What you're supposed to be doing. Once you start doing it,
facts.
Then he's going to be like, there you go.
Facts.
There you go.
Absolutely. Like, absolutely.
Action.
Right? Action.
And then you'll get your reward.
Yo.
Like, y'all.
And so, I actually challenge y'all, right? I think a lot of people don't read their Bible. Like, you just don't read it. Like, you go to church, and somebody, at this point, they even put it on the screen for you. You know what I'm saying? And, like, you may read that verse from the screen, but you're not going home and, like, reading verses. You're not going home and reading the Bible to see what you get out of it instead of somebody telling you what they got out of it and trying to preach their lesson to you from what they got out of it, right? Because every lesson preached comes from a perspective, right? Like, so every lesson, whether even this podcast is coming from our perspective on life. You feel me? So, like, you should read the Bible, right? And read yourself, really, to see what you get from the Bible, and that will tell you what your perspective on life is. And that's with anything. When you're analyzing something, your view of it comes from your background and your perspective on how you view things. Yeah. You feel me? Man, that was a good one. That was a good one. Any last minute, any words, any of wisdom or anything like that for people?
Hey, if you haven't heard it from us, when God tells you to do something, listen. Don't just hear him. Don't just be like, oh, okay, I understand. Don't just brush it off. I'm gonna do it tomorrow. I'm gonna do it next week. Listen, because the moment you start listening, the things that happen in your life are gonna be unbelievable. And I'm gonna tell you right now, it's believable.
Facts.
Because it's God.
Facts. No, that's real talk, man. You know what's crazy? And we're gonna close it out. But it's almost like I hope y'all getting something from it. Because even when I'm sitting here, I'm getting something from it.
Exactly.
You know what I'm saying? Like, I feel better, and I know that, like, this conversation has helped me, and it's us talking, right? And this is why we started doing this, because it's like we would do this all the time.
We talk about this stuff all the time.
But like, y'all needed to hear this too. So I pray, like, for real, like, all jokes aside, like, I really pray that y'all get something from this, and that something sets you free mentally, physically, financially, emotionally, socially, physically, and all those other elites, right? And yeah, man, it's the Freewenow podcast.
Till it is backwards.
Yes, sir, Ski.